Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial, and today I'm excited to give you an update on a volunteer restoration project that we posted a video about close to a year ago. The link to that original video is in the description below. But this is a restoration project to open the ship's signal shelter, which is just aft of the flag bridge on the 03 level of the battleship. This space had basically never been touched by the museum, and people walk by it all the time and ask what that door is. And my personal philosophy in operating a museum ship is that we should open every single door on the tour route. Doesn't necessarily mean that people can go in, but you should be able to at least look in and tell what that space was. So, we don't yet have a sign here telling what the signal shelter is. However, the restoration is done, so we decided to throw the door open anyway. Come on in, let me show you what we've done. So, the main issue with this space was that it just hadn't been painted since the late 80s, early 90s when the ship was in service. And while it still had some of the original paperwork in the drawers and whatnot, the room was pretty empty. There were some chairs in here, there were some desks in here, but there was nothing on them. So, not only did we repaint the space, but we've staged it a little bit. An interesting feature, the podium here has some clipboards on it, so it was easy to put some paper and pencils there. The workbench here, we've been able to strip a bunch of these 12-inch search signal lights that would have been used for blinking Morse code. So you can see it doesn't have a handle on it to crank, but you can see the iris in here that could flap up and down for signaling. And so we've staged a toolbox. The ship's tool issue room down on second deck has many of the ship's original tools and toolboxes in it. So we were able to just pull up some equipment and stage it there. It wouldn't be a workshop on a Navy ship without a coffee maker. This is one that our volunteers used to use, and after many years of dedicated service, she met her fate. And so we put it up in here, where we suspect one would have lived in service. There's an outlet right here by this little bench that was added by the crew, clearly for no other apparent reason. We still have some empty racks in here for extra equipment. Over here we've got a helmet rack. It's far enough back in the corner that we didn't want to take helmets off of some of the racks in the tour out and bring them up here. We have many of the ship's original helmets, but not all, so that one's just empty. This rack over here is still empty. Be sure to check out the previous video we did about these doors. Now you could crank them open and closed, so the signalman could be in this partially armored, it's at least splinter protected space in combat, and then pass stuff out as needed. We have the signal flag bags out. We've got the blinking lights out, but people sometimes don't remember that the signal bridge could also be used for sending semaphore. So we left a pair of semaphore flags out that would have likely been stored in here, and then the crew would have come and maybe even passed them out the window to do their semaphore. You've got one of those ubiquitous Navy pin boards in here, a shelf for binders. This desk seemed less like a workspace and more like a traditional desk, so we found an old typewriter on the ship and brought it up here. And then the final cool feature in here is the ammunition loading trunk. This would have been for sending 40mm ammunition to the mounts that are 2 stories above us. When those guns were removed, it got repurposed as a wiring trunk. It was already an armored run that went through the ship. As they added more equipment, they needed more trunk spaces. So, what's a space on the ship you think we should be restoring next? This question is specifically for those of you who have visited recently, and you've gotten to see more on this ship than any other museum battleship. But we're not done yet. What are some other spaces you'd like us to prioritize in the future? Let us know in the comment section down below. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. If you would like to support the ongoing restoration of Battleship New Jersey, there's a link in the description below so that you can donate. You can also support the museum by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find out about us and our channel. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to spend an evening with me and other battleship enthusiasts and support the museum, Saturday, January 8th, we are hosting a meet and greet on board the ship. This starts at 4:30 and will probably run to about 9 p.m. During the talk, I'm going to answer questions from people like you, and also we're going to talk about my opinions on a couple of my favorite questions. One of them, what would a modernized Iowa-class battleship look like in 2022? And another one, what would have happened if Battleship New Jersey was in the San Bernardino Strait? Those are just a couple of the questions. We'll have some other ones, and again, you guys can submit questions. This talk probably will not end up on the YouTube channel, and if it does, it'll be months before it happens. So if you're in the area and you want to support the museum, I'd love it if you came out and met me. The winter is traditionally a very slow time for the museum, so coming out and participating in events like this really helps us get through to the next busy season. There's a link in the description below with more information if you're interested in attending.